Well, good morning and welcome to 10 Foot Customs. It's Monday, and the plan for today is to try to paint Rusty's interior. I'm going to try to prime it and do a coat of custom single stage white, and I will go through a step-by-step how I'm going to do a backyard budget paint job. So I am on my way to go get coffee, and then I'm going to head back home and get everything ripped out of Rusty because the seats and everything are in him. Get the seats out, get the roll bar out, drill a couple little holes, and tape it up and get it painted. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in a bit. So here's where we are. I've got to get the seats out, the roll bar out. I think the back seats out. Got to tape up the holes in the firewall. Got to put something over top of the trans tunnel hole. These little patches here, they're carbon Kevlar. And so I just clear coated over them. I don't want to paint them white, so I am just going to put a mask over them. I got a couple ideas that are well above and beyond what I should be doing in trying to get this done. But so that's my plan. I just got to get everything out of here now, and we'll get to painting. It's a little breezy out today. Hopefully that won't affect the camera on the phone or the microphone on the phone. And it's going to be one of those tougher days to work, because on inside the house is day one of Hot Rod Drag Week 2021 that we will be going to tomorrow when it hits Norwalk. So I will be shooting video there while I'm there. But I'm kind of keeping half an eye on what's going on there, as well as trying to get some work done here. And with that accomplished, so I need to tape over this so I don't spray underneath and get anything underneath there. I got a couple spots there and there they got to sand down. It's still a lot of epoxy resin. I think there's one right here as well. I can feel like it's got to quick hit those, sand them down. This corner's got some on it. But then I'm just gonna roll this thing out into the yard and put some primer on it. So I know some people are gonna say, you've put all of this time into making this tub look as good as it could possibly be for as bad as it was, and yet you're just going to paint it in the backyard. And yeah, I'm gonna get bugs in it, and it's not gonna be perfect. That's kind of goes along with what I'm, doing with it. This is a daily driver. This is not any kind of a show vehicle. I'm going to be using this in the winter time. It doesn't. I don't want it to be perfect. If it's perfect, I won't want to drive it, and that's the exact opposite of what the plan is for this. Also, as the YouTube channel's name is 10-Foot Customs, I'm great if this is a 10-footer. If from 10 feet it looks great, wonderful. If it looks great from 5 feet, that's even better. But yeah, this is just going to be painted in the backyard, and we'll see how it goes. I've done other paint jobs in the backyard with other motorcycles and stuff, and yeah, you might have to sand them down a little bit, and sand a bug out or two, but I've never had a major issue. But this is obviously the biggest thing I will be painting, though. So I'm going to vacuum it out, do a little bit of sanding, and then we'll get prepped for paint. Well, it's been quite some time since I shot the last one. It's getting kind of late in the afternoon. I blame Hot Rods Drag Week Day 1 because I couldn't stop watching it. But I did get the tub all taped up. All the holes are taped on top. And I blame my brother that I talked to him yesterday because I couldn't just leave those panels alone. I had to make them look nicer. So both sides have the same thing, and they will be painted where you see the carbon Kevlar will be painted white, where you see the blue, and the white that will be the carbon Kevlar look, just because I'm dumb, and well, there's literally no need for it, but it is what it is at this point. It is ready to get a coat of primer on it. Hopefully the rain holds off. I don't think it wasn't supposed to rain today, so we'll see. I'm gonna mix up some paint here and I'll show you what I'm using. For my primer, I'm going to be using a Shopline product called JP375. It is an epoxy primer. It is supposed to be the best for going over fiberglass, especially raw fiberglass. So you have this, and then you get a hardener with it, and you can mix a ratio. The ratio on this is 2 to 1, so it's 2 parts of the primer to 1 part of the hardener. And the easiest way to do that is you get these cups from Home Depot, Walmart, a lot of these places sell these ratio cups, and there'll be a ratio on it. So you put in your primer and your hardener as you go up here. So you can go 4, which I'll probably mix a full batch. I'll go to 4 and 4. And that'll be a full batch of this cup, and we'll see how far this sprays. This is 1 to 2 coats. I'm hoping to do this. Again, this getting carpet over it, you're really never going to see it. I really just want to make sure I seal the fiberglass and seal any of the repairs I made. So I may just do 1 good coat and let it harden, and then do my color coat on top of it. The difference with this is from many of the other primers I've used by Shopline is this has an induction time. So once I mix it into this cup, I've got to let it sit for 15 minutes to let all of the chemical reaction take place before I go and start spraying it. So I'm going to mix this up, and then I'll get dinner going here for 15 minutes or so. The nice thing about this stuff is it has an 8-hour pot life. So once it's mixed, I have 8 hours to use it, which is way more than most of the other stuff I use from Shopline. The other primers I use from Shopline, I think their pot life is 1 hour to 2 hours. So I'll have plenty of time to get this mixed, get dinner going, and then come out here and start, putting a coat of primer down on this thing. The paint is almost done inducting. I got like another 5 minutes or so, and then I can start spraying it. This is the gun I tend to use for my primer. This is a Harbor Freight gun. I think it's like 20 bucks. Primer is usually pretty thick, and you get, you know, if you miss a little bit in your gun, they tend to gum up, and then you don't get to, you know, eventually the guns don't spray very well. So I tend to use these because if I got to throw it out and get a new gun, I do. It's not a big deal. I do have a gun that I have a Mac gun that I use for clear coating. It only gets clear coat through it. And then I bought a brand new 3M Accu spray, I think it is, that I've never used yet. I don't know if I'm going to use it on this project because, as you'll see as we go down the road, it's really not going to matter whether I have this perfect spray on here. But so yeah, cheapo Harbor Freight gun, works fantastic for primers. I do use a regulator on it, and I dial it in till I get my spray pattern to what I want, and that just takes time to figure out what your spray pattern is and how you want to spray. I'm going to go check my time and see if I can start spraying. I am ready to spray. Make sure when you spray that you get one of these masks. These are, again, this was Harbor Freight. They're designed for spray paint. They're charcoal filters, they're replaceable filters, so you can get new ones from there. And I want to say the mask was like 30 bucks. Well worth having so that you don't die. Okay. Let's see how this sprays. It's going the exact opposite way I want it to. The tub is primered and it looks really good on the inside. I mean, it's 10-foot good. Honestly, there's, as you get down the paint, you can definitely tell where I did not get some stuff done, and there's some runs here and there from the resin, but I am very, very pleased with what it looks like right now. The sun is going down. I might see if I can mix up one coat of top coat for it and put a coat of top coat down and see how that goes. For one coat of this primer, you have to wait 15 minutes to top coat. For two coats, it's 30 minutes. So by the time I coated this to the second coat probably 10 minutes ago. Once I get everything cleaned up, get the gun cleaned up, and get my top coat ready to go, and it'll be 30 minutes, and I'll be good. Okay, now that the tub is gray, next step. I'm using a gallon of Shopline JB1, which is their base coat, and this is the factory Olympic white. So this is the color that my Jeep came with when I bought it was Olympic white, so I'm going to go back to that. And there's a reason I'm going back to that, because I had plans for some really cool paint jobs, but you know, I got ideas. As most people know, base coat or prime, base coat, clear coat, which I'm using this TransStar Clear. Everything I'm using is on the economy line. I'm not using anything crazy expensive. I think everything, the primer, the gallon of paint, the reducers, and this gallon of clear, all cost me just under $500 or $520, somewhere right around there. Right around $500 for everything to paint this tub. What I don't want to do, because it's just going to be a pain, is to base coat and then clear coat. It just, it's just not something that I'm looking forward to doing. So what I'm going to try to do, and I have done some research on this, and I've gotten some people say no problem, and other people say you can't do it, but that's why I'm going to try it. You can mix up to 50% base coat into your clear coat, from what I've read, and you basically make your own single stage. So I just spray it and I'm done. There's no extra step of clear coat and building up another layer. And again, carpet's going on this. You're only going to see little bits, like the edges of where the white has to be. So I'm going to attempt to make my own single stage instead of buying another thing of single stage, because I could just go out and buy like a quart of single stage paint, but it would cost more money. I've got this. I'm not going to use a gallon of white. I'm probably not going to use a full gallon of clear to do this. So I am going to try to make my own single stage. And that will be the next thing you see. Now here's where things could go wrong. I have now mixed up almost a full cup here of clear coat, which is a ratio of 4:1. And I've also mixed up a ratio of my base coat white, which is a 1:1. So I thinned it with thinner. I don't know if I was supposed to do that or not. Now I'm going to put the thinned paint a little bit at a time into my clear till I get an opaque white, or I get some kind of a cruddy mess that I can't use and I've wasted paint. The good news is it looks like it mixed. I would have thought if something was going to go bad, it would have gone bad instantly. I would say I'm close to a 50%, I'm probably less, I'm probably like close to a 30% paint ratio into this. And I've cleaned out my primer gun. I'm just going to reuse the primer gun because it'll be just fine. Well, wish me luck. I have messed up paint before on many occasions, but this could be a whole new level of mess up that may cause me more grief than I wanted. Or it could be a win. We're hoping for a win. And that, as they say, is that it's not perfect by any means. There's definitely some spots that I could have done better. I will say that technique works. Got some water droplets in here I'm going to have to probably fix. The technique works, but I would say what I did the second batch I mixed, I didn't thin my white paint at all. I just ran it straight into the clear coat, and it covered a ton better. The first batch that was thinned base coat, it barely covered anything. So yeah, don't thin your paint when you put it into your clear. And it actually did a halfway decent job of painting. It looks a little dingy in spots. We'll see in the sunlight what it actually looks like when it's done. Like I said, I got a couple of water droplets in there, but for some reason my moisture trap wasn't catching the water. But we'll get in here a little closer. So again, there's some spots where, I mean, some of it looks fantastic. There's some bugs in there, whatever. But like there's water droplets up here. I didn't notice it was dripping. I may have to fix those. It was in the second coat though, so hopefully it didn't get all the way through. But for the most part, it's not bad. There's a couple thin spots like right there, but I don't even know if I'm going to worry about them. It dries pretty darn quick. Yeah. So the problem was when I thinned the base coat is that it ran a lot. There's a couple of big runs on these side panels I was hoping not to get. When I didn't thin the base and I put it in the clear, it coated a ton better. So I'm going to clean up and pull some tape and see how it looks. Well, it has gotten dark very fast, and humidity is still up. I'm sweating. But I did get 2 coats of that DIY single stage on here. I don't know if it was any more cost effective than buying a single stage, honestly. It just allowed me not to have a single stage left over, and I'll use this base coat. The base coat lasts a long time, where if you buy a single stage and don't use it, it only lasts, I don't know, 6 or 8 months before, it only lasts 6 or 8 months before it goes hard in the can. So the base coat I have will last years, as long as it's sealed properly. But I might have to buy more clear, but it's only, I think it's $76 for a gallon of clear that comes with the hardener. So it's not bad if I have to buy more clear, but we'll see come sunlight if this is decent enough to say it's good to go, or if I need to throw a third coat on. If I've got to throw a third coat on, I would say it's definitely not as cost effective. It's just buying a single stage, or I could have just sprayed it with the base coat clear coat and it probably would have been the same. But I was just honestly just trying something new because I've heard you can do it, and I've heard guys will do this when they're painting. They will put down their base coat of whatever color it is, and then they will mix a 50% base into their clear for their first coat of clear, put that down, and then put their subsequent layers of clear onto it, and it's supposed to give you more depth into the paint, which I can understand why, because you've got like a translucent layer of base coat. So I don't know. We'll see in the morning. When the sun's on it, it'll know. But tomorrow is Tuesday. Tomorrow is the second day of Drag Week 2021, and we have to be up bright and early to head out to Norwalk, and I'm going to be shooting out there, and we'll see what we can see there. So that will end this video. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I hope everybody has a great week.